Buddy. My name is Jackson Sproul, and I just want to take a few minutes to tell you guys about the Fodry Lab that is run through UNC. Now, the Fodry Lab is run by Dr. Joel Fodry, and his main mission and goal through this lab is to explore and understand estuarine ecology. Now, you may wonder, what is estuarine ecology? And estuarine ecology is just exploring the relationship between organisms in estuaries. Now, estuaries, they could be sounds, rivers, lagoons, stuff like that. Estuaries are areas where fresh and saltwater mix, and it usually leads to a very productive and awesome environment for thousands of different species. And estuaries are home to many habitats, including salt marshes, oyster reefs, and seagrass beds. Now, you may also wonder, why are these important? And estuaries and their habitats are so important because they are critical for hundreds of marine species. They help keep our waters clean, they protect our shorelines, they help fight climate change, and provide us humans with lots of delicious food. And understanding these places can lead to more and better methods of protection of the areas that we depend on for so many things. The picture to the right is one of the most popular and one of my favorite fish in the ocean is red drum. And red drum frequent every single one of those habitats, and they depend on them a lot for food, cover, and breeding grounds. In Dr. Fodry and his lab, they go through many avenues of research to achieve this goal of understanding ecology. For example, they go through food web exploration and habitat ecology, and that's just exploring how energy moves in all these environments. And through that picture, you can see a female blue crab in a North Carolina seagrass bed. Anytime you walk through seagrass bed in North Carolina, you got to be careful because they will pinch you and they are mean about it. They've also are continuing the shark studies that is done off our North Carolina coast. They do fish tagging programs. In that picture, you can see a bunch of speckled trout that are tagged. In tagging, they measure the fish, they tell the age, the sex of it, and through that data, they're able to tell breeding patterns, they're able to tell what age to start breeding, and it's just really helpful for conservationists. And it'll also explore the effects of marine farming. And in that picture right there, that is an oyster farm, and with the increase of people that enjoy seafood, it's come to realize that it is impossible to meet the demand just based on natural gathering and harvest. And we have to supplement that with farming techniques. And all sorts of organisms are farmed in the oceans, like oysters, scallops, clams, a bunch of fish. And they can have massive effects on the sounds and estuaries that they're in. And Dr. Fodry and his lab, they are really interested in how those farms can impact. In Dr. Fodry and his lab, they've done some really cool studies. They've done experiments on every coastline of the United States, and some of the things they've done are like in constructing artificial seagrass beds to encourage growth. They've done oyster reef restoration studies, and through those studies, they've discovered that oyster reefs are really, really good at coming back strong. A restored reef in just as little as 5 years can become just as productive as a natural reef that's been there for 50. And that is huge news for coastal communities and all around the areas where oyster reefs are common. And it's just so awesome they discovered that. And like I said before, they're continuing to collect data for the multi-generational shark collection that started since 1972. North Carolina and their shark studies, that is actually one of the longest ongoing shark studies in the entire world. And they've done also cool studies where they do predator-prey relationships in pre-built tanks, and it is just so cool. In his lab they've had some really cool findings, and they've helped deepen our understanding on many things, including the relationship between habitat quality and fish production. They've come to find novel approaches toward habitat restoration, like I was talking about with the oyster reefs. They have looked deep on the climate effects on fisheries, and they've also looked at landscape ecology. Because more often than not, when you're in these estuaries, all those habitats like I was talking about, like seagrass beds, marshes, and oyster reefs, they're all really close to each other, and they all can impact each other. And he wants to explore how the proximity and what's in it can impact them, like each other environment. And I just want to conclude by talking just about the Fodry Lab, just how cool it's been. They've contributed over 100 peer-reviewed papers towards this area of study. The work of this lab is incredibly important to our coasts and the people and animals that call it home, and it is our responsibility to learn more about these environments and come to value their importance. And without these places, many of our coastlines would be unrecognizable. If you have any questions, there's the address of the lab. The lab building is gorgeous. I'm from Morehead City, and I can attest to just how awesome it is. And his lab even offers classes in the summer, and I'm sure Dr. Fodry would love to talk about any questions you have. And I just want to say thank you for your time. Here's some of my own pictures taken in Morehead and the surrounding areas, and I value the waterways so much, and they need our protection. Thank you.